Welcome to Against Medical Advice. I'm your host, Jimmy Diamond. The identity and location of the following recording has been changed to protect the anonymity and confidentiality of the clients. The views and opinions of speaker do not directly reflect those of the podcast. The following is a live recording of real people struggling with addiction and trying to seek recovery. This is for educational purposes only. We hope you enjoy. All right, welcome, folks. On Monday, awesome graduation. Congratulations. What an amazing thing that was. I love seeing graduations. Congratulations and all the best. Since this is our last class, I hope you get a lot out of it. Now, in the past couple weeks, we have been talking about steps 1 and steps 2. Today we're moving on to step 3. In today's class, we're basically going to come to understand what is third step, an introduction into third step, maybe getting into self-will, but I'm hoping that we really grab a good, strong, solid understanding of what it means to make a decision today. Then from there, talk about what may be getting in the way of us making decisions, healthy decisions. What are some positive, low risk situations, low risk outcomes of some of our decision making? What are some high risk outcomes as a result of our decision making? What is a short-term decision? What is a long-term decision? What goes into making a decision? And what does it mean to make a decision for me and for other people? The serenity prayer. God, the way I understand him, in which I've discovered in the second steps, okay? We made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him in the second step. Whatever method you were doing research on and you said that seems like a good method of recovery is the God of your understanding, as I'm putting in quotations, okay? This steps 1, 2, and 3 that we've talked about can happen in a matter of seconds, faster than a second, you know? Quick deliberation, sometimes not even make a deliberation. Sometimes I just make the decision. Addiction kind of removes our ability to make decisions. It's very impulsive and compulsive action and behavior, right? There comes a point in our addiction where our decisions are actually made for us. I didn't want to do it and I am doing it, right? That's a scary place to be, not wanting to get high but getting high. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Now, God, grant me the serenity. Grant me peace. Not war. I don't want my decision making to be war. I don't want my decision making to be turbulent, right? I want my decision making to be peaceful, to be serene. God, please grant me the serenity to 1, accept the things I cannot change. Step 1. I need to accept the things I cannot change. And from first step, we're understanding and accepting that I cannot change the fact that I am powerless over my addiction and that my life has become unmanageable. That's just, God, grant me that acceptance, to accept that, right? That can vary. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. What can't I change, right? Whatever, that's what you can put whatever you want in there. This is an equation to just give us serenity to make healthy decision making. So whatever you want to put into that equation, you put it in there, right? Whatever that thing is, it doesn't matter. But I need God to grant me the serenity to accept that thing. And 2, the courage to change the things that I can. That requires courage. I was talking in Detox the other day, and I was saying, you have to change. A fist does not get to become an open hand possessing what a fist possesses. Still a hand, right? But for you to go from fist to hand, like an open hand like that, you can't be a fist. You can't possess that aspect of it. And if you want to be a person in recovery, you can't possess those parts of addiction. You have to change. And the addict doesn't get to become a person in recovery, right? Without accepting and deciding to make these changes. So the only thing you have to change. Changing is inevitable. If you want what we have to offer, change is going to have to happen. And the only thing you're going to have to change, they say, is everything, right? Because, this is totally different from this, right? Now, yes.
I was just going to say, I had a pretty, spiritual experience this Sunday at church, and our topic was, it was my first day back at church since I got back from detox, and I felt like God was really talking to me, just based on the message, and the message was literally, perfectly aligned with the third step, and so I just wanted to share it. The topic was 3 habits to safeguard your soul, and the first one was surrender your will. That's the first habit. The second one was monitor your heart, and the third one was open your hands. So pretty perfectly aligned with what you were just saying, but it was the message was based on the third, open your hands. And it was when you really think about your life, a lot of who you are and what you do and the person that you are, a lot of it is a choice, right? A lot of it was given to you by God, or a higher power, right? The way you look, you didn't choose that. Your family, you didn't choose that. You know what I mean? In a lot of cases, what you do, is based on circumstances and where you are and timing. Your friends, so many aspects of your life, and the most important pieces of who you are aren't always a choice. You know what I mean? And so, anyways, I kind of had a moment, and so I just wanted to share it because it seemed to be perfectly in line with that.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Was that Andy Stanley?
Yeah.
I saw the Monitor Your Heart last week.
Yeah.
So I'll have to see that.
It was really good. The whole thing was great.
Oh
but
my God, thank you.
Could you please say that again, Josh?
So it's Andy Stanley. I go to North Point Church, but his last it was a 3-week sermon, and it was how to safeguard your soul, and it was basically the 3 habits are surrender your will, monitor your heart, and then open your hands. And it's about, if your hands are open, and it's about giving it away. If you're trying to hold on to things, you know what I mean, you're never going to find peace and happiness. It's all about giving it away and keeping your hands open.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, that was awesome. You had said
Change, fist.
Yeah. You said something though that I wanted to kind of touch on, but it's okay. So, the decision, any decision, okay, has to be made. It has to be created. How is a decision created, right? Now keep in mind, a decision, how it's created is in the definition. To decide something means to come to a resolution in the mind as a result of consideration. So a decision is made as a result of considering things, right? In what am I considering in this step? I'm either considering to turn my will and my life over to what I guess might work, this logical understanding of how I can change, or I turn my will and my life over to what I can do, And in this step, the consideration is turning my will over to whatever I decided was best for me in the second step. Okay, from all that research, all that deliberating we did, we developed some sort of understanding of what my program is going to look like. And I'm the one who has to decide to go with that and turn it over. In active addiction, I would do things that did not feel good. I did not want to do them. right? It didn't feel good. I didn't want to do it. I knew it was wrong. And I did it anyways. The more important thing is not it doesn't matter how I feel about it. It doesn't matter what I think about it. What matters is doing it. Am I coming? Dropped your cup, and I think that water landed on your phone. Am I just making these decisions, or are these decisions being made for me, right? In active addiction, these negative decisions could be made for us. And I argue that if we do enough good things, if we turn our will and our life over to something positive, those positive decisions can be made for us, and they can feel good, and we can reinforce them, and we can actually enjoy the process, and we can enjoy making these good decisions. Yes, sir.
I was going to say that I heard somewhere that you get to a point in your usage, and where like you said, you don't want to do it, but it's the drug that we stop doing the drug, and the drug starts doing us. All right, and it desires what it wants. The alcohol wants more alcohol, or whatever your DLC is, and and when you're talking about peace and having the peace, because we are in a war. We're in a war for our spiritual lives and how we navigate the rest of our life. So step one, step two, and like you said, decisions sometimes are just we're enacting addiction was made for us.
Yeah, so you relate with that.
Yeah.
And let's go back to that idea too, right? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can. In second step, there's this, hey, what do you want? So you want to change? Oh, well, maybe you could try this. And doing that requires courage, because maybe it's scary. Maybe I don't want to do it. And I have to be brave and courageous enough to actually do it. So in the first step one, I need to first accept the problem. Step two is find courage to use the solution, right? Or find courage to apply the things I can change. Find courage to find the courage to use my strengths and my weaknesses, dude. There's courage in using a weakness too, right? So God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom to know the difference between what you cannot control and what you can control is discovered by working steps 4 through 12. Okay? That is how. There's other ways of doing it. Okay? You could just live life. You could live life, and I'll tell you, these decisions will be made for you. Okay?
Won't even know it.
Won't even know it, dude. I'll tell you, man, I would rather make my decisions. I want the power over my decision. I want to decide where I go, who I talk to, what I do. I don't want something else deciding that for me. And if we're going to look at the real problem, there are so many different things that can decide what I do. How many decisions do we make every single day? Unconsciously.
So many.
What? 22.
Unconsciously. I don't even know I'm making this decision. I believe the number is 35,000. But let me ask again. Hey Siri, how many decisions do we make a day?
Yeah. Those are probably conscious.
Yeah, I'm talking about unconscious.
No, I was talking about Sarah Grace. She said
122.
So confident.
Of those 35,000, hold on, let me make sure this is true. Hey Siri, how many decisions do we make a day?
That's mind-boggling.
35,000, yeah. Thousands of decisions every day.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, we're talking about like, take step with your right foot or with your left foot first, you know what I mean?
Like, I'm not even thinking about
Like
that.
if you think like, should I wake up and pick up the phone or pick up the Bible? That's a huge decision. We're talking about, well, there's a million other
Should I
little
go pee right now?
Yes.
or
Or should I
that's a
hold
big
it?
one too, you know? We're talking about like, you know, breathe in or breathe out.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Am I
of
gonna
those,
speak up or not?
huh?
Am I gonna speak up or say or not?
Right. And of those 35,000, what was that number?
122.
122 are conscious. What am I gonna eat? What am I gonna wear? Which way am I gonna go to work? Am I gonna say this? Am I not gonna say this?
Wait, is 122 actually correct? Or
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct. Yep.
Conscious.
Conscious. You
You
know,
nailed
these are decisions that you're.
But it's like
making.
it's like 6 if you're in jail.
Yo, seriously.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like 6
How
if you're in
many
jail,
is
is that what you said?
How many is it if you're in
Facts.
rehab?
It's probably like 48.
Right? No, but seriously, right? I mean,
It was kind of nice, actually.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
you need that, yeah.
You need.
Some people need jail too because they just can't even handle the 48, you know?
Some people need it. Some people need it, you know? Some people need to be told, this is what you're eating today. This is when you go to bed. This is the medication you're taking. This is when you take it. This is when you're in group. This is where you're going to be. And if some people aren't told that, they don't have the ability to come to the resolution and say, yeah, maybe I should go to group right now. They're not like, maybe I should be where I'm supposed to be. They say, nah, I don't need to be there. You know, they don't make the decision. And I'll tell you, like, the feeling associated with it, why we're doing all that shit doesn't matter as much as doing it. If I feel bad about stealing, if I really don't want to steal, but I'm stealing, what does that make me?
A thief.
Kleptomaniac.
Right? You see what I'm saying? I could tell you, and that's where the decision and like the action behind the decision is a power greater than yourself. It does something for you that you can't do for yourself. If I don't want to steal, I shouldn't steal. But if I steal, I'm powerless over developing the characteristic or the character defect of being a thief. I'm powerless over that as a result of my single decision, right? Some people decide to drink and drive, and in that one decision, there's multiple other decisions that cost them a limb, that cost them their freedom, right? Okay. Gonna try to build a real good understanding of what does it mean to make a decision, and let's talk about like big decisions and little decisions, okay? What is a big decision? Like, give me an example of a large decision.
Buying a
Buying a
house.
house.
Buying a house,
Getting married.
getting married,
Getting divorced.
Yeah.
Career.
Big decision.
Bigger for some than others.
Yeah.
Real quick for me.
right?
Oh, wow.
Let's use
Yeah.
let's just pick one of these, okay? I usually use marriage, but I want to switch it up today because I want to challenge myself. And I want to challenge my theory, dude. I always use marriage and I use these specific examples. Bro, I'm so confident in the fucking 12 steps that I can pick any fucking decision we want to talk about and apply it, dog. All right? And I want you guys to get to that point too. You literally apply it to all your affairs. I've never done career. Let's talk about career. A career is different than a job. How is a career different than a job?
Because a job is just something that you just. It's meaningless, really. It's literally just like working just for the money. A
Right.
career is like something that you take pride in, and
You're willing to sacrifice for
Yeah,
it.
there's a bigger picture to it. Like
Passion.
more committed to it, more longevity.
What is the how long is this commitment?
Like, it could be like
Give me a years. How if I'm deciding to have a career?
30 years.
30 years, right?
Yeah.
So for a career, this is a big decision. I'm deciding where I'm gonna be for 30 years, who I'm gonna be around, the place I'm gonna go, right? Is there opportunity for growth?
Yeah. In that.
You don't want a career where there's maybe no opportunity for growth. You want to maybe grow, make more money, maybe retire. You want something. If you're gonna give 30 fucking years of your life to something, maybe you could take care of me for the other 30 years of my life. You know what I mean? Maybe I could retire. I don't know, thing like that. Does that work? I help you, you help me, right? Now, a career, 30 years. That's a big decision. I'm turning my will and my life over to the care of this company.
Or this industry.
Industry, right? You're gonna pay me. You're gonna be around a while, right? You're gonna this is a question that I have to ask myself. Is this company gonna be around a while? Or am I gonna get into this in 15 years? You know, they're not going to be selling video cassettes, and Blockbuster's going to be out of business. Is anybody thinking about that? Or are they like, I would love to work for Blockbuster. Give me that career right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a long-term decision. And the desired result is as a result of daily decisions. So the desired outcome, which is retirement, is only attained through daily attendance to work, daily performance at work, and you attending work. There's 3 parts to literally starting a career and ending a career. Now, today, we could first off talk about how somebody would make the decision to want a career, right? It's a problem. Maybe not having a career is a problem. I don't like going from job to job. You know, I have a job here, job there. I only last a year, 9 months. I want to be in a career. I want to retire. I don't want to do this all day, some people may say, right? So they say that's a problem. And I need to have that fixed. And a big company can fix that for me. A big company can give me that, that legal documentation that says, you promise you'll be here? You say you're going to be here? Okay, sign this paperwork. You're not going to hit on any of our coworkers, right? Sign this paperwork. You're not going to do this, are you? Make sure you sign this paperwork. Right? And I have to decide, is that what I want? And then what goes into that decision? Well, okay, here's the negatives. The negatives is I don't have those things. I don't benefit from, I don't get the benefits. I don't get the long-term career, the security type of shit, right? Or I could do it and I could get all those things. Now, there's no guarantee. Again, Blockbuster could go under. You know what I mean? Something could happen to me. Something could happen to whatever. Not saying that some people get let go of a job for things out of their control. Just life showing up. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't do this career anymore. Family shows. I got to handle my family. You know what I mean? Or they have no transportation. I don't know. Something happens and something happens, right? And they can't fulfill the career. Or they were drinking, right? Now, what do anybody ever know someone who's worked for one company and retired? Anybody know someone who's done that?
My grandfather.
What are some things that you remember about him doing that?
Well, okay, so his dad.
What company, do you mind saying?
Okay, well, look, okay, that's what I'm about to do. His dad worked in the theater business doing audio projection. Like, I'm talking back when there was the film.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, he taught my grandfather, and the very first job that my grandfather had was his dad's company, which when he died, my grandfather took over. And still to this day, I mean, he's retired probably 20 times. So he comes back and then, retires.
But he's a business owner, though.
And yeah, and my uncle and my dad were taught by him, and like it's literally been decades of that same thing.
Dedication.
Yeah.
So my dad worked for United Airlines for 30 years, and I'd say like when I became of reasonable age to kind of figure out what was going on there, he was basically like, I'd say he probably busted his ass for the first 15, and the last 15 he got to a place where he had people, you know, and he was chilling. That they used to drink in the parking lot after work every day, and you know, it was super chill for him. The last 15, the first 15 was a crazy, and then the last 15, you know, a big company like that, and it was pretty mismanaged. They let him, you know, I mean, he had some people working, you know, it was that cycle. It was that cycle of like putting a good 15 years, you'll get to where I'm at, and now you can just fucking chill, you know, choose your shift, do what you do, and your fucking family's gonna be taken care of with amazing health benefits, and you're gonna have, but here's the fucked up thing about that. My dad was set to retire right when September 11th happened, and United Airlines got delisted off of the stock market. So for about 30 years, my dad had vested all those options into the company. So like there was about $500,000 that disappeared in one day, you know? So that's why my family had to move from California. Well, we all had to move from California to Georgia, you know, which is great. I love Georgia, and I'm happy here, and it's a better place for family values and all that. But
So they just took those stocks away.
there's nothing to take away when
That's
a company
crazy, bro.
goes off of the market.
Right.
There's no stocks.
Right.
They had to get reorganized.
My dad did the opposite thing. He was a pilot for Delta.
Yeah.
And he stayed a pilot till Delta till the day he died. Actually, he was one of the newer pilots to where they were new employees. They actually bought a plane for Delta. And he's got a picture of that in his office. So there was only a few 100 people that worked for Delta.
So the interesting thing is all the planes that were used in the September 11th attacks were United planes, and it's not like, so United kind of used that as an excuse to delist themselves off of the stock market. The fact of the matter is the company was mismanaged since the 80s. You know, they were flying planes half empty, they were overpaying for fuel, execs were taking huge bonuses, the company was mismanaged. They were just like, oh, this September 11th thing happened? Cool, it was all our planes? Well, not cool, but you know, let's use this as an excuse to fucking blow this whole thing up, you know?
Let's start over.
Start over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was United
Because
Airlines.
American didn't go anywhere.
That's
Delta.
true, but
Right.
it was American was one of the planes.
I think they were all United. No?
American.
Oh, was it?
One was American.
American was the one in Pittsburgh that landed in the field, I think, right? Oh, that was United too.
Well, regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, to your point, it's just, you know, that's a fucking big decision.
Big
That
dedication.
shit like had trickle down effect throughout my whole family, you know?
Right. And I mean,
But my sister was trying to start a family around that time too, and she just couldn't get a foothold in California. The prices had escalated to unreasonable, so it was actually like a blessing in disguise. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at things.
right. And it brings back, like, when you talk about that, it makes me think about how, going back, this is the point I was going to make after your share, was some of these decisions are within our control, and some of them are without our control, you know? And the ones that are out of my control are not very fun, and the ones that are in my control are just, I like being in control. You know what I mean? I don't want to use fun as like the term I'm trying to use, but when I'm in control, I'm more able to protect myself from problems and occurring.
And
You
to
know what I
also
mean?
live with the consequences of the decision.
Happily.
Yes. Regardless of how you just know that you had control, it's really hard to live with a decision that was made for you that has negative consequences. You know?
Right. So now, my dad worked in shit his whole life.
Shit?
Water treatment facility.
Oh.
So my
Same
dad
thing.
worked for the MWRA, the Mass Water Resource Authority, and everything that went down in Boston, everything that went down your toilet, your sink, your shower, ended up at my dad's work, and he would purify that water and put it back into the faucet so that you could shower and drink that water and all that stuff. So my dad,
We're drinking shit water.
It's a great,
Right.
it's a
Did he
great
get it
career,
all
bro.
out?
Dude, I know one guy got he's got a retirement from DeKalb, and he was like 40, and he went over to Gwinnett and
Yeah.
started that whole. he's gonna have 2 retirements.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's all county money.
Yeah.
And it's super chill.
Yep. It's a state-ran job. I don't know if anybody knows the stigma around state jobs, but it's 7 people standing around a hole with 1 guy in it with a shovel.
Yeah.
Not here in the South. They actually work.
But my dad one day made the decision that I'm gonna show up 8 hours a day to this shit water to give my son a greater opportunity, to give my family food on the table, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I remember this is where the decision is larger, right? This is why I say, do you remember the things that they did, right? I remember my dad was never late for work. He woke up at the same time, was out the door at the same time. He would be home the same time. He would come home and he would take a shower, same routine, go downstairs, smoke his joint, and he would say, "Don't fucking be like me."
That's just like my dad.
And I would
Just
say
doing
things like,
everything.
"Dad, get me a job." Right? Get me a job. I want a career. I want to retire, this and that. And he's like, "Jimmy, you don't want to work. You don't want to do what I do. You don't want to work and shit all day, dude. Like, you want to go to college. You want to do these things. Like, your life is going to be better than mine. You don't want this fucking shit." And I remember, like, not understanding that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see what it was like going into those buildings and you see these grates pulling up everything, just grates, just like these like rakes that are just pulling up toilet paper, condoms, IVs, everything. And that shit can fall in your eye, and you know,
Hepatitis party?
that's what he got. My dad got hepatitis as a result of it, and he just
You don't want
recently
this fucking
retired.
shit, literally. You don't want this fucking shit, literally.
Dude, you know what I'm saying? And he made the decision to do that every single day. He turned his will over and his life. Let's do the math.
To the mass.
Ready?
Fuck.
2,080 hours.
Fuck
If you
the
have a
time,
40.
the motherfucker got hepatitis.
Yes, thank you. If you, your average 40 hours a week, I think like 49 weeks or 52 weeks out of the year is 2,080 hours. Multiply that by what, 30 years?
But he did
That's-
some like 2 weeks of vacation, right?
That's 600.
Oh, dude, well, this is the thing. Once you get to that point, ready? Once you get to that point, he's just like, sick time. I'm going home. Send the rookie to do it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Overtime. Like, he had the freedom to choose whatever he fucking wanted by that point, you know? And as a result of his daily decision, he got to retire. He's retired right now, you know? So, and he gets to reap the... That's a career. It didn't matter if what was going on at home. It didn't matter what was going on, you know, with his family, with himself, with anything. He went to fucking work, dude. Missing out on Christmases, Thanksgiving, he was never there. You know, he was cleaning water, bro. And I appreciate that. That has value to me, you know? It has value to him. And so many people get to benefit from his daily decision of doing something like that. Even my children, unknowingly, right? Here we are thinking about, and Matt, how about the decision that people just decided to hop on a ship and say, "Fuck England, dude.
Yeah.
We're going." You know what I mean? And they hopped on a ship, and then they just decided, we're going to fucking chill here. We're going to colonize here, and that's what we're doing. We're not paying their taxes and all that shit, right? And look, all of us have the freedom to say whatever you want to say, think whatever you want to think, carry a fucking gun. You know what I mean? What fucking freedom can come from me deciding to stay sober?
Same.
Anything that you imagine and put your mind
And this is a decision. Like, I'm talking about me, like a career is, yeah, that's a 30-year decision broken down into, like, you got to wake the fuck up and go to work. You know what I mean? People want to be in recovery, but they don't want to do the work. They don't want to actually put the time, the effort, and yourself in. And whether you're just making the decision, this decision in itself, consideration takes time. Intel, right? You have to sit down and weigh your options. And I'll tell you what, 2,080 hours a year, times 30, I don't know what that is.
60,240.
60,000, yeah. What is it?
60,240.
60,240, right? Multiply that by what, 3? Hopefully you live till you're 90. So you're telling me that 1/3 of my life, I'm going to be in a room of shit. You mean to tell me 1/3 of my life, you know what I mean? This is what my career is going to be. Do you decide to do that? Is that what you want to do? That's why people are like, bro, do what you love. Do what you want to do. And I'll tell you, you better love how you're treating yourself. You better love the effort you're putting in, these decisions that you're making to be the person you want to be, or else you're going to be one of those miserable people who show up to work all day and complain about how shitty it is, and I'm just here so that I can retire, man. I don't give a... Nobody likes that, dude. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You can't have a better fucking attitude?
There's no way to sustain it for me. I can speak from personal experience. If I make a decision out of certain circumstances that are forcing me into that decision, I could last a little bit, but I can't sustain it, you know?
So
if I was forced into recovery, if I was forced into a career because I was in fucking debt or something, you know? And then I'm like, as soon as I get out of debt, I'm out of there, you know?
do you see that happening?
It took me a long time to realize that.
Have you ever seen that happen in like a family-run career?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like take over the like carpet business or something, you know?
Yeah,
and you're
take over the carpentry, but take over this business. And the kids are like,
I don't want to do this.
it's because your hands are tied.
Dude.
What about another big decision where your hands are tied? What's it called? Planned marriage.
Oh, hell.
that's right.
Arranged.
Arranged marriage, right?
You plan marriages, but that's fine, you know, arranged.
An arranged marriage.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, I gotta marry you. That decision's made for me.
It better be.
But that works sometimes too.
It does. Hey, sometimes you'd be surprised how many people stay sober from drug court.
Yeah.
I know a couple.
Yo, drug court is a successful program. I'll tell you that, dude. Motherfuckers, you stay sober when your color's being called, dude. I'll tell you that much. And then as soon as what I have seen is people just are in that state and they don't put more effort into their recovery or more time into their recovery. They just stay sober enough to pass the drug test. And when their drug court is finally up, it's this huge celebration where they get fucked up. And I swear, bro, they're right back to where they were before they were even on drug court.
My ex-girlfriend.
And
You
plus,
see it?
you learn a lot about. I did drug court when I was 17. I came in there with like a bachelor's degree of marijuana. I left with a master's of cocaine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So when these decisions are made out of our control, that's not. It's not. The longevity may not be there. If I'm making these decisions for myself within my control, maybe I can develop something where longevity is important, right? In addition to having a career, and I'm going to go back to kind of comparing it to a marriage, I guess. But in addition to having a career, there's going to be moments where you're going to have to share how you feel. You're going to have to share your opinion and shit like that. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people they don't talk about their job. Like, I think I'm someone who's like, bro, you got to talk about your job. You know what I mean? I talk about what I do here, you know what I mean? And it feels very good because I can get a distorted view on what I do, you know what I mean? Whether I think I'm not fucking doing anything, I'm no help at all, or I think I am literally the Suboxone for group therapy. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what spectrum it is. I need some outside type of influence to get my mind right so I can make healthy decisions throughout my day, to make sure there's food on my fucking table and there's fucking, like, everything's in order. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Same thing happens in a marriage. I mean, we have marriage and divorce on here. If someone is trying, if, like, say they have a career and there's something going on 15 years in, they may just stick it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The company's switching owners. It is what it is. I'm just gonna fucking keep on doing my job. They're not gonna let me go. Blah 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 blah. You know, sometimes in a marriage, there comes a point like, they just say blah 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 blah. There's a change in the company, and they just, like, keep on going. Then there's other people who see changes in the company and they take it personally, and they're like, bro, can you believe this? I'm not doing it. Nope. I'm out of here, man. I am not gonna be here for them switching the company and everything like that. I'm gonna go with this other company, dude. And they leave, which is totally fine. You know what I mean? But then you don't reap the rewards of the 15 years you just put in. Okay? I'm someone who believes in, like, longevity. I want to do things that I can do for a long time. I believe that I could do this for the rest of my fucking life, dude. Like, this is just something that I could do, you know? Exercise. I exercise in a way that that's something that I can do my whole life. I believe in marriage. I think marriage is a good thing. I think that when I am going through tough times, I don't think about divorce, right? And in the events that I'm like, you know what, I gotta fucking, like, get away from her, when I go and try to understand powers greater than myself, and what I need to turn my will and my life over to, who I get my perspective from is important. Who's influencing my decision making in those moments is important. I want my marriage to work.
So you're gonna go and talk to, like, 3-time divorced people, you know?
Yo!
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
You see what I'm saying? Like, when now, not saying that the 3-time divorced person doesn't have,
But that's not his area that you need to be getting knowledge from, you know?
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So when I am doing this research and I'm coming to this decision and conclusion, I got to keep in mind, like, okay, what goes into this? When you talk to a divorced person, they're only going to give you maybe a divorcee's perspective.
Absolutely. It's the wisdom to know the difference, right?
Right. So that's where the wisdom comes in. Is this good information or is this bad information? Is this helping me make a healthy decision or is this taking away from my healthy decision? Why you decide to do this is not as important as doing it. Why someone joins the military doesn't matter. You got to join the military. Why are you a addiction counselor? Why are you a fucking accountant? Doesn't matter as much as, like, what your career is, you know, and what you do on a day to day.
How do you see that way? Because to me, it's like the why is half the reason you decide to do it.
Because why I like, say I like exercise. I like exercise because it helps people, this, that, and the third. If I'm not doing it, if I'm not deciding to do it, then I'm not reaping the rewards of it. You see what I mean? And I'm just going to be a person who has a ton of knowledge and does not benefit from that knowledge.
It's like the why is in your mind, but the career is like what made the instrument that saved all those people's lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the why I chose what I chose has everything to do with what I did as a professional.
Yeah.
But doesn't it sometimes change as you go through it? It grows, you know, the actual act.
Why I come here, that's what I'm trying to get to too. Why I come here is different. You know what I mean? Some days I come here because
I need a paycheck. Some days I come here because I want to give something back, you know?
The daily decision is, the daily, like, feeling associated with what I'm doing is different, but doing it is what matters. You see what I'm saying?
That's tangible.
Now, that's tangible. That's going to give me results that I want, the results that I can actually quantify in data, you know? my why can always change. My feelings can always change. So, and going back to, this is not making the decision, this is deliberating over the decision I want to make. So now let's take it out of the career for a second, okay? And let's focus it on recovery, okay? If someone's deciding to be in long-term recovery, what are they deciding to do? What are they signing up for?
Their why is the reason why they're deciding to be in recovery is, you know, because they want a better life. And so I'm on the same wavelength as her. The why is just as important, because when you make that decision, if you're making a controlled decision, then you have to know why you're making that decision. And yeah, I mean, for 15 years down the road, you know, you're thinking, why am I doing it? And it might change, but your first decision is going to be there, you know, why you did it.
Yeah, to me, like what he's saying is like, why you decide to do it will make you stay or not. Like if I just took a job just because I was going to get a paycheck, and the paycheck was really, really high, versus what I loved, I would do what I loved versus what I paid more, which I've done plenty of times.
Right, but I think
And then to stay there.
sometimes that changes over time, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then, like, if you get the job and you take the job that maybe you don't love it, but it's got a good paycheck, maybe the why changes 15 years down the road. Maybe now I do love it.
And I think the why, and if you're looking at like addiction as well, why I choose to be sober is just as important to me as being sober.
Yeah.
And stick, you know, it's like I don't want my life to be like it was. I want to have the self-respect to respect my daughter, my family. I want to be healthy.
Okay, now, I want all of that too for you. What is going to get you there?
Discernment.
Give me tangible behaviors or things that I can do that is going to give me that result.
Go to meetings, get a sponsor,
Work the steps.
read, learn as much as you can about addiction.
Do you think that if someone does not want to go to meetings, sees no reason to go to meetings, but is brought to meetings against their will, change can occur? Like if that decision is made for them, do you think that change can occur?
Regrettably, maybe. But it's
Right.
like the attitude behind it. How long will that change last?
Right.
I think so. I think their attitude could change, because me personally, I didn't go to rehab because I wanted to. I went to rehab to shut up my fiance and my mom. But I found out while I was there that I am an addict and I did need help, because I listened once I got in the rooms and started hearing things. So I do think if you go to meetings and you don't want to, you can pick up something if you pay attention, because I did. I realized that I am sick.
Yeah, and that's the point that I was saying.
Yeah.
She went, she didn't want to, so why she went wasn't because she wanted to get, you know, to get clean, but while she was there, it became her why she stayed.
Yeah.
Yes. And that decision was made for her.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, the decision was made for her, and through that decision, she said, you know what, this is something that I gotta do, you know? So,
Yeah.
I'm saying that my feelings and stuff like that isn't as important as doing it. You see what I'm saying? Like, doing it is what's gonna give me the change. Deciding to do something is not gonna give me the change.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, just today, I decide I'm gonna make $1 million. Is that gonna give me $1 million at the end of the day?
Nope.
You know, I have to do work. And imagine if they said, okay, Jimmy, this is the work that you have to do to make $1 million today. can I do that? Is that something I'm willing to do? You know, and finding, and that's where the decision comes in. Like, okay, this is what I want. This is what the plan is. Do I want to do that plan, or do I want to just do something else? Yeah, so the why is important, you know, but the why can change. Your individual why is different than my individual why, is different than their individual why. But you need to know your individual why, because that's going to help you maintain control in a sense. You know what I mean? Like if I know like my purpose throughout my day, that's going to make me feel better about what I'm doing. It's where my self-will can align with God's will. Like what I'm doing also is good for me versus like me obstinately going against what the suggestions are. And I take my own will back and say, yeah, it's cool, but that's not going to work for me. Okay? And these are 122 decisions a day. In active addiction, out of our 122 decisions a day, how many were revolved around drinking and drugs?
About 100.
Or 1,000.
I mean,
Most of them.
most of them, even maybe the unconscious ones, you know what I mean? So now, say I'm in recovery, now we're focused on recovery, okay? I need to make the decision to turn my will and my life over to what? What's your method of recovery?
Community.
Let's use treatment. Let's use treatment for something tangible. All right, treatment. Everybody here made the decision to turn your will and your life over to this facility, and there's plenty of documentation to prove it. Okay. Now, what is the outcome, the desired outcome of making this decision? Yeah.
To stay clean.
Stay clean, graduate the program, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, stay clean, help the fam, everything like that, you know? What do you have to turn your will over to? Like, what do you have to do in order to graduate?
Adhere to the protocols of this program, of this facility.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the protocols of this facility?
Listen,
Curfews.
Participate.
If you're on PHP, it's 5 meetings a week. If you're IOP, it's 3 meetings a week. You know.
Yep. Now, one is turning your will over to that, and then 2 is actually making that your life.
Yep.
Like my life is no longer, like if you're in PHP or like something like that right now, your life is no longer what it was, dude. Your life is now the rules and regulations of this facility. And then from there, once that's all organized, you can grow off of there. So if you do have other life shit going on, you can handle that after you handle this shit. You see what I'm saying? Like right here in group, turn my will and my life over to the care of God completely. I can only think of one thing at a time. So if I'm on my phone, maybe I can't focus here. If I'm outside smoking cigarettes, maybe I can't focus here. You see what I'm saying? If I'm thinking of money problems outside of here, maybe I can't fully focus here. So now I have to not only make the decision to show up to group, but to actually participate in group. To be home for curfew. To piss in the cup. What happens if you do not turn your will over to a drug analysis, a urine analysis?
You get kicked out of our
What if you decide to be stubborn about a urine analysis?
I don't know. Has anyone
I
done
don't
that?
have your
I'd
idea.
love to
I'm
hear how
not
that worked
going
out.
down that road.
Right? What? Don't even want to go down that road. What happens if I'm late for curfew?
I don't want to find out.
Right? I have to turn, if I want the desired result, I have to turn my will and life over to the rules and regulations. If I want to retire, then I got to do what they say I got to do. I got to show up when I got to show up, and I got to do the work. If I want a marriage, I got to show up, I got to do the work, have those tough conversations, and do all that shit. And if I want to be in recovery, it's the same idea.
Yes, it is.
And I'm the one who has to decide to do that. And if I don't decide, if I don't say, you know what, it's worth it, then I'm never going to do it. You know? And that goes with, say, diet, right? A lot of people, New Year's resolution, they decide, I'm going to get in shape. Where do you think they are now? That was 20
That
fucking
was
3
step
days
one,
ago,
20
26
days.
days ago.
Yeah.
Right?
On the couch with a box of bonbons watching TV.
Bro, how? What happened? You know what I mean? How do they go from this is something I'm gonna do for the rest of this year to right back where they were? After having made the decision. The decision is not a one-time thing. It's many different battles, dude. Talking about this war, right? If I want peace, there's a lot of battles I gotta fight.
Yep.
There's a lot of experience I gotta go through. Which means a lot of emotions.
That's really good, Jimmy. That was really good right there. If
feel
you want
it.
peace, there's a lot of battles I gotta fight.
I feel it. I got chills after I
Drop
said
the
it.
mic. Get us out early, bro.
And dude, I'm not even gonna get started on how I could compare this to warfare, dude. Like, if I want the peace, I'm gonna have to fight the battles, and the war is continuous, dude. It just keeps on going. You know what I mean? And if I lose one fucking battle, bro,
It can be
I might
deadly.
have problems.
Yeah, it can be deadly.
You know, and it's up to me. And you know what the cool thing is? If you're fighting this, I know you went to boot camp. If we're both in a foxhole, I know you went to boot camp. I know you did Hell Week. I don't gotta fucking worry if you're my brother or not, dude. We both know what we're fucking going through, dude. And I need, like, if we're in a foxhole and I can't make this decision, I may need you to tell me to fucking get my shit together. We can do this, bro. Stand the fuck up. Let's go fight. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need someone that's a power greater than yourself. And in order to if you want to fight the fucking war, you gotta go through boot camp. You gotta go through that stuff. And this could be boot camp for your war on drugs outside of there. And I'm that lieutenant who comes around fucking yelling at you, banging the fucking trash can. You know what I mean? Now, in these large decisions, there's a ton of little decisions. That's why just for today is so important. Like, just for today, I need to make the decision to turn my will and my life over to the treatment plan or whatever I'm choosing to do. Now, what does that mean? That means, like, maybe knowing what I have to do, thinking about it. And if you have enough experience by discovering peace or losing peace by trying to control things you can't control or not controlling things you can control, you gain wisdom. And with that wisdom, you hopefully continue to make changes. Right? Like in a marriage, right? There's a miscommunication, the communication happens, and then it's like, okay, you need me to do this, I'll do that. Oh, so you need me to love you this way, you need me to communicate this way, I'll start communicating that way. That's wisdom, that's knowledge. And then if I don't decide to do that, where's the marriage go?
Or even if you decide to do it but don't do it, that's even worse.
That's
the worst. Then because they don't forget.
How do you know that?
now yeah, that's funny. So say we decide to be in recovery. Say we decide to work a 12-step program. We'll use that, right? They say go to 90 meetings in 90 days, work the steps, get a sponsor. All right, let's just use those things for instance. Anybody afraid of anything about that? Like, is anybody scared of like going to a meeting every day, calling this person every day? Is there anything scary about doing step
Calling.
work? It's hard.
Yeah, like, I mean, not hard, it's just like, I have so much anxiety about calling people.
Like
Like,
uncomfortable.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
I play out the conversation before I call because, like, I feel like I'm gonna freeze up and not know what to say when I call.
But I think you get to a point in your recovery where you start realizing that it's way more uncomfortable drinking and drugging, losing jobs, getting fucked over,
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, fuck.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
the thing is, like, I when that shit happens, like, I remember those nights, fucking
Yeah.
5 days in a row, no sleep, no eating, no fucking, just sitting there, just fucking sick, and it would feel a lot better to just make that uncomfortable call.
Right.
Do that shit.
And that helps you make the decision.
Yeah, let that
Right.
desire drown out that doubt. You know?
What's that?
Let your desire to be sober drown out that doubt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It-
You gotta be hungry, you gotta want it.
Yeah,
You
and
gotta be faithful to it every day, you gotta want it.
is there any fears or barriers that you have about like working a program or anything?
Yeah, talking all this shit and then stumbling. You know?
Yeah.
There's some like, yeah, there's some.
I think like
I walk the walk in here, but am I gonna walk the walk when I get out?
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
your best chance at that is doing the shit, you know? I mean, that's really,
Staying in it.
statistically
This,
pretty fucking
this
slim.
time around is different because I've learned the steps. Like I've really learned the steps. And that doesn't mean I've gone through all of them.
I'm afraid
But
of
even
doing
like-
the steps because of what they hold, like the moral, you know.
Well, yeah, step
inventory,
4 is where I'm at, and that's a
moral
fucking
inventory.
dirty
Yeah,
business.
you know what I'm saying? To look back in the mirror, to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
See, I can,
And that's
I can do that. I can face
Yeah.
that monster, but it's the, am I gonna fucking keep going with this when I get out?
Mm.
Because you don't know when you're faced with the world. Yeah, you could say I'm gonna stay in the program. I'm gonna keep going to meetings. But what about day one when you walk out of them doors and like, what are you gonna do?
Mm.
Because the best option is go to a meeting on your first day out.
Yeah.
Because like, at least like me, I don't know if other people are like this. I need a routine. And so if I'm in a routine and then I step outside them doors and I don't go to a meeting that day, I stepped outside of my routine and then it's just like a snowball effect.
Mm.
That's what
And-
I'm afraid of.
Hold on, she had
Okay.
your hand up.
Oh, I mean, mine's kind of controversial, but recently I've been struggling with a whole like AA seeming like a cult
Mm-hmm.
mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I struggled with that.
Fears. I don't want to be in a fucking cult.
Like my first time. Like
Yeah.
my first
That's
time
why
there.
I like.
I don't want to be in a cult.
I'm a H addict, but I'm a log cabin home group member now because that CA meeting just hits a little different than all the
Mm.
others.
It's
Yeah.
the best one that I
Yeah.
out of everything.
So I was just gonna say
It's my
like,
favorite.
for me personally, and I am a religious person, I believe in God, like, even if I really fucking want something bad, right? Like, if I don't actually do the work and put everything I have into it, it doesn't mean I'm gonna attain it, you know what I mean? And so, like, I fucking want sobriety. I've wanted it for, like, several years. And even though I believe in God, like, and I have made the decision to turn my will, like, I still have to do the work for that too, right? Like, get down in the morning. Like, I don't do that. Like, I don't do a good enough job of that. Even though I believe in God, like, I'm not getting down on my knees every morning praying to God and turning my will over to Him and, like, you know, doing the work for the step 3 like I need to be doing.
I
So,
agree.
like, I think that's the case for a lot of the steps. Like, you could really fucking want it bad, man. Like, you could be so sick and tired of being sick and tired.
But
You could
are
want
doing
sobriety,
enough?
but it's not easy to do the work it takes to be sober. It's a daily commitment. It's an everyday thing, and it can be overwhelming, especially early on.
Yeah.
Because, you know, for a lot of us, we got a lot of other shit to juggle too. We got families, we got kids, we got careers, we got. For me personally, I don't have a lot of free time. I have almost zero free time, and so that's what kind of pushed me away from AA my first time through. To your point about it being a cult, is like, I have a life to live. I want sobriety, and I'm willing to do the work, but it's been hard for me to accept that sobriety has to, like, the work it takes to be sober has to be my number one priority, because I have a lot of other fucking priorities, you know what I mean? And I'm not willing to, like, let go of my family and the relationships with my kids and my wife.
Can I just say one thing real quick? Oh, sorry.
And so that's been something that I've struggled with, is like, I know what it fucking takes to be sober. Like, at this point, I've been through these things like enough times to know what it takes, but it's all about doing the work and, like, having to, like, commit to doing the work every single day and finding a way to prioritize it even when you have a lot of other fucking priorities. You know what I mean?
How do
I
you
agree.
juggle that?
I was just gonna say,
Juggle.
just going off of what Josh was saying real quick, Kayla, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
But I was just gonna say that, like, I don't really know you, Josh, right? I don't really know your story, I don't really know, but you come off to me like as a guy that gets shit done and makes moves, you know? And it's like, for me, I can just speak from personal experience, I was able to attain a lot of things in life my way, manipulating the situation to get it. You know, I think we all could do that as addicts. And it's like, this is the one thing, and I tried to manipulate this shit too, to kind of conform it to what I needed, to make it fit into my life as I needed. This is the one thing that I found in spirituality that I can't do that with, man. And that fucking is freedom right there, you know? Because I've been able to do that with career, money, women, whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like, this is the thing that I actually need to do these, because it's like, man, this is basic shit, you know? 90-90, wake up this, make your bed. It's like basic, man. I know, you know, but fucking I'm doing this shit and it's working, you know? So, I mean, it's
And along with all that, like, another fear would be not fixing everything that I need to fix on accident. Just not realizing every little aspect of things that I gotta fix.
Your
And then
future
when
tripping hard, dude.
You gotta let the doubt go.
You're
bro.
talking about a first meeting when you get out of here, bro. You're gonna be so different 90 days after today. That first meeting, you're gonna want to go to that
Have
shit.
some
You know what I
faith in
mean?
yourself, man.
Yeah.
Have some faith in yourself, bro.
Practice it on a weekend, maybe like on a Saturday when you don't have to come here. Pretend that is
Your first day.
your first day.
I just notice a lot, like, in my free time, like, I just like to chill, and like Carly said yesterday, you know, give myself some grace because I'm already, you know, doing this.
You're
you know,
early,
here.
Yeah.
But that type of shit just freaks me out because
Mhm.
I feel like if I'm complacent now, then I'll be complacent in the future. And
Yeah.
And
Hey, better to be complacent here than there, though. I mean, it's good that you're already, kind of seeing that.
I
Build
mean,
off of what you got.
yeah.
and I agree with that. I think it's all these things I would rather have sober than have an active addiction. Like, active addiction is hard. Recovery is fucking hard. You know, you may stumble in active addiction, or you could stumble in recovery. You could walk the walk about getting high, or you could walk the walk about recovery. It's like, yeah, I could be in a cult, or I could be in a coffin. Like, which one do I want?
Yeah.
bro?
Like the same people,
You know what I
cult
mean?
of the bar, the same fucking people are there talking about the same old shit. I mean, that's a cult.
That's a cult in itself.
Especially
It's
like
just
if they're
a-
all supporting the same team. It's like they're
Now-
a fucking cult.
It's,
Now-
it's a scary thing, I guess, because, I mean, you're right. Like, I'd rather do it here in sobriety than in active addiction.
Be in the
But
good cult.
it's so scary for me because it's so life or death in my situation.
And
it is for everybody, but
And I don't want the decision to be so overwhelming and scary, okay? We're talking about 90 and 90, having going to a meeting a day, having a sponsor calling them every day, and doing a little bit of step work every day for about 90 days, right? The sponsor would probably call them first 30, you know what I mean? Maybe do a question a day in your step working guide, or however pace you want to do it. That's 100, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm either 0 or 100.
me too.
And it doesn't have to be that way.
It's all or nothing.
I wish he was in here right now, but you can't do fucking 90 and 90? Can you do fucking 80 and 90?
Can you do
Can you-
60 and 90?
Can you do 45 and 90, bro? Can
It's
you
the
be
effort.
about your recovery,
Yeah, it's
bro?
the effort
You know what I
and
mean?
intention.
Can you put a little bit of effort in? Now, keep in mind that to maintain a decision requires 3 things: time, effort, and self. Okay? You only have so much time, you only have so much effort, and you only have so much of yourself. Not saying that you should remove time, effort, and yourself from other priorities in your life, but you must prioritize this time, this effort, and yourself in this area. You see what I'm saying? So not saying put it above or below or anything like that. Just put it in your fucking schedule, dude.
But let's be realistic. Some shit's gonna have to fall off, bro. Let's just be fucking realistic. Jim.
That's where the creativeness of your recovery comes into play. You're real, like, bro, okay, you fucking missed a meeting, dude. Can you, like, do a 10-second, can you just, like, ask yourself a little, can you call your sponsor that day? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you do something? You know what I mean?
But I'm not like you're talking about shit's gonna have to go by the wayside recovery wise. I'm talking about other shit. You know, like I'm not playing hockey right now. I'm not watching any sports. I'm not fucking dating. Shit that takes up a lot of time, and I'm sleeping a couple hours less. You know what I mean? And that's
Well,
fucking recovery.
Yeah, and you bring up another point is like now I'm deciding to overcome those feelings. I'm deciding to like I can't be the hand with the fist.
Yeah.
Like right now, I can't play hockey this season. I fucking feel you, bro. I'm literally about to leave here, go to fucking Peachtree City, put the fucking targets up and shoot for an hour. And what happens every single time? Here comes a couple guys on their blades. Yo, what's up, man? You in the league this year? And the past couple fucking weeks I've been like, nah, man, got a newborn. I can't this season. Got to sit out because of the newborn, right? And that's me turning my will and my life over to the care of God. I say to myself, okay, God, I want to play
Do
hockey.
you play semi-pro hockey?
Not semi-pro, but
Just
I play.
like
Yeah.
intramural type.
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
right?
roller hockey down there. I'm gonna get ice skates and beat this kid on the ice, but eventually, right now, I
Jimmy's
gotta
gonna be
fucking
our
play.
goalie. It's already been decided. Too wide.
But like, I have to make the decision. Like, dude, am I gonna pay the money, sign up for it, and then every Sunday at 8 p.m. be playing hockey? How would that feel? I don't know about you guys, but maybe it feels good.
It might feel good, but then you might feel defeated for missing other.
That's the
important things.
see what I'm saying,
Everything's
and that's
cost benefit analysis.
That's what we're doing here. Healthy decision, deliberating, considering options, considering outcomes. Like, okay, if I do sign up for this hockey, what happens? My girl's gonna be fucking upset. That's what's gonna happen.
And back to what you said about rather do it sober than in active addiction, it's better to make those decisions than making the decision of, am I gonna go shoot here or am I gonna go to the friend's house?
Exactly.
Shit like that.
So now, okay, we're right on point. By the way, folks, I'm gonna let you out early today. We're gonna cut the break out and I'm gonna let you out early. So we're gonna be out in like 10 minutes or so. Just because I know people are probably eager for a break. Which brings us to the next point. When it comes to recovery and making the decision to be in like recovery or sober, like today may be easy to make that decision, you know? There's one thing that can defeat us in making this decision. It's known as self-will. Taking our will back, okay? When you deliberate, healthy decision-making goes with the most logical, beneficial outcome.
Yeah.
You know, very rarely do people say, well, this is going to destroy my life. Let me go with that. That's what self-will is, dude. Self-will is that's the right answer, but I'm not going to do it.
Or even more, from again personal experience. That's the right answer. I'm not going to do it, but I'm still going to get to the end doing it my way. I'm going to be able to manipulate my way, you know. And it kind of works sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's not sustainable, and it's fucking unhealthy because I'm all corrupted now.
But
'cause
that's
tried to
where
do
I
that
get-
here, you know?
That's
where
the
I get
cheating.
tied
That's
up.
the shortcuts, the
Cheating.
cheating, the
Cheating.
this, the that.
Love
That's where I
cheating.
get
Love
tied
cheating.
up though, because then I feel like I'm not turning my will over.
You're not.
You're not.
You're not.
And it's even if you're
That's it.
And if you're a hypocrite and you're like, yeah, I'm turning my will over. God is telling me to do it this cheating way.
No.
No, he's not. God, all your evidence of the higher power which you chose is definitely contrary to that
But
evidence.
that's
It's hard
where
when
I
you're
like-
active because you really think that though.
Can-
You're like, God is telling me to do it this cheating way.
God put this $20 right here so I could get high. Addiction takes self-will and distorts it.
Yeah.
Like, you know how I keep on saying there's how normal brains work, and then addiction just like hijacks that?
Yeah, God
That's
sent,
one of
God
those
sent
things.
I
coronavirus
guess
to
that's
this
what I'm-
planet so I could work from home and go even further into addiction, you know?
That's what I'm kind of asking is like, now being sober, we can use our self-will in a good way. or-
Yes.
Yeah, you can feel the difference.
Because that's where I guess with the cult mentality of some of the meetings, it's like they make it, you know,
Where are you guys going?
your
What
higher,
It was just
your,
one meeting.
your
Where
higher
are you
power,
taking
your higher power has to be like the end all be all. Like you can't use self-will at all.
Mhm.
It's like when everybody's speaking, it's like the littlest things that aren't even that serious or life-threatening at all. And they're like, well, then I had to take a step back and turn it over to my higher power. So that's what I'm asking is like sometimes we can use our self-will.
Yes.
In a good way.
Yes, and let me give you another tool. You almost did that same thing. Let me give you another tool to help you with that, right? Turning my will over to all these things for 90 days is overwhelming. Can you make the decision to be sober today?
Please.
You see what I'm saying? If I can make the decision to be sober today, and then I just do the same thing tomorrow, what is something that you can do today to reinforce that decision? And I want you to remove the idea of God, okay? What is something that you can do today, that you will do, that you can decide to do, that can facilitate or give you the ability to think and behave in a normal, rational manner?
Just listening.
Yeah, positive
Just
decision making. What we're talking
What
about
would
now.
that positive decision making be?
A real
Going
example.
on a walk instead of
There you
say
go.
watching TV.
That, now can you do that today?
I can.
Will you do that today?
Maybe not.
You gotta do it, bro. That's our whole fucking group. Do it. Put the TikTok down. Go on the fucking walk, bro.
Hey, that's just,
Yo.
hey, that's just honesty right there.
That's it,
Right. Say, you can work with that, you know?
Yeah.
Because if he said, yeah, I'll go on the walk, and then and that's some fun. At least he's right. Yeah, good.
Right,
Man.
yo, but that is, think about that. Think about how strong that track of thought is. That's a track in the mind that we're trying to understand. Even though it's totally logical, makes complete sense, I can do it, I would even be willing to do it, I'm not gonna do it. Right?
Maybe
Now,
It sounds
what?
so stupid now though. Like
Right.
I'm not going to. maybe.
What would you do? And this is where I get into like time management, effort management. Where are you putting your effort in? Where are you putting your time? Where are you putting yourself, right? Because with time, quality time and quantity, you got 24 hours, and what do? Is that a high quality 24 hours?
Never.
I mean, a lot of people do how much time, 30 minutes you could go for a walk.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying is like.
And you spend 4 hours doing something stupid. I don't know what it is. but
Laying in bed.
There it is.
Hey, Drew.
And you could now this is where,
syndrome.
keep in mind, wait, guys, think about this. You don't have to walk for 4 hours. Is 3.5 hours of sitting around doing nothing enough for you? Do you need the 4? Right? And if I cheat my way through this, I'm robbing myself of learning what it takes to be that person. You see what I'm saying? So, for instance, someone who takes steroids, right? They're cheating themselves of like becoming the person they should become, the longevity of it. If someone is cheating in a relationship, a romantic relationship, they're not learning what it takes to communicate, to talk, to like be vulnerable and share feelings, you know? And if you're cheating in your recovery, you're not learning what it takes to be fucking sober. You're not developing those experiences authentically to give yourself the change,
And
right?
it never works out.
And it just will not work. It might not.
Think about it with a relationship. You can cheat and you may not get caught today, you may not get caught tomorrow, but you're gonna get caught eventually and it's gonna fall.
And that's, dude, it's... So, and keep in mind, right? Someone who's like a cheater or something like that, they have to decide to be different than who they are, right? So here they are, like this person, they're like, I'm a cheater, now I have to pretend like I'm not a cheater, right? And that's the same thing in active addiction, like I'm an addict, I'm going to this place where I have to pretend like I'm not an addict, and that is impossible. If I go somewhere and I'm like, bro, in active addiction, I'm like, bro, I can't get fucked up. I can't fuck my shit up. No shots. I'm powerless when someone's like, bro, huh. You know, they don't even need to say, take it. They just gotta go, huh. And then all of a sudden, I'm fucking off, dude. You know what I mean? And it's like, that decision Bro, that was like me. I remember there was this one New Year's like 10 years ago. I was like, can't do it. And all of a sudden, this chick was like, want to do this ice luge with me? And I was like, totally. And it was just done, bro. I was like face down in the bathroom because I decided to turn my will and my life over to hard booze.
And a floozy.
And and I turned, and as a result of that, I had problems. I knew I was going to have those problems. I could have prevented those problems, but in that moment, I was powerless, right? Talking about the why, right? You know what I used to do? I used to write lists to Santa Claus about what I wanted. I believed and made the decision to sit down and write what I wanted to Santa. I put it in an envelope, put a fucking stamp on it, and sent it out, right? And I truly believed that that was getting to him and I was gonna get what I wanted, and it wasn't. Okay? Same thing with drugs and alcohol. I really thought I was managing life. I really thought I was doing the right thing, and as a matter of fact, I wasn't. You know?
You can't
And
believe
it's not
because there's still a when you believe there's still a space of not possibility. You gotta know it.
And this is deciding to know it. Like, I'm deciding to learn it. I'm deciding to, okay, do your change. Do what you do, man. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody made the decision to do that here. Everybody had to say, you know what? I'll take your UA test. I will fucking be home for curfew. I'll do all that shit. And have we benefited as a result of that decision?
Definitely.
Do you think that there's more benefit in other areas? It's just about figuring out what's good for me, what's not good for me. Is this gonna, does this have the ability to restore me to sanity or not? And I think 12-step programs are one of those things that can give you that. Treatment's one of those things that can give you that. Reading a book, listening to a podcast, talking to another person, talking to someone on the phone. There's so many different things that you can do that. But you just have to be like, is this helping me or is this hurting me? And the first thing we're going to do is go through 4th step and go through all the times that even though I knew this was wrong, it went against my morals, I did it anyway. And that's going to give us a whole bunch of evidence that proves to ourselves beyond a reasonable doubt why I am the way people think I am. Why I may appear the way I appear. You know what I mean? My emotions may make sense, and my character may make sense as a result of that. Now, when I come back on Monday, we're going to go over self-will. All right, today was just decision making. We talked about long-term decision making, short-term decision making. I don't know what's a power greater than yourself that can get you to walk today, but set a reminder.
What about this?
Do it right.
Be account.
I
Say
was just
say you're
about
going to
to
do
say-
it, and we'll hold you accountable.
You and this group.
So you'll do it.
Literally, what like when I said that, saying maybe not, and then everybody laughed. That was like the power greater.
So you'll do it. You'll do it.
Think about that, dude. Fuck yeah, do it. That, bro, and a lot of people, that's how you're going to discover shortcomings. That's how you're going to discover character defects. Is people are going to say, bro, what's fucking wrong with you? Why would you think that? Character defect. Your character is your mental, moral quality distinctive to you as an individual. So somebody sees you as someone who can do that, and your punchline is, I'm not going to do it. And we're like, ha ha ha, that's you. That's so you. And you're here like, that ain't me.
Yeah.
You see that conflict? And now it's up to you to decide, well, is that me or is that not me? And some people say, that ain't me, and they sit on the fucking couch all fucking day for 4 hours watching some dumb show they've already fucking seen. And I'm telling you, if you want to figure out who you are, it comes from being uncomfortable. And do it, like when you get out there and start walking, you're gonna say to yourself, why am I such a bitch? Like, why didn't I do this, dude? Like, this is so easy. I still got 3.5 hours to watch dumb shit. Like, I could do all this other stuff, and you're gonna be like, why didn't I do this before? This is so simple. I feel good. And you're even gonna tell other people, hey, you should go walk. Now, that's just for today. Tomorrow's a different story. But I'll tell you what, if you can prove to yourself beyond a reasonable doubt today you have the power to do it, tomorrow...
Steam, bro. That's called building up steam, man.
Yep. Tomorrow you may be able to say, you know what, I did it fucking yesterday, maybe I can fucking do it today. And I'll tell you what, that even goes with being honest in your relationship. Like, if you're like, man, I don't want to tell my girl how I really feel, but then you're like, this is how I really feel. And then the conversation starts, and it's like, oh, I didn't know. And hopefully you get responded like that, you know what I mean? And you're like...
Stay away from that right now.
But you're like, whoa, maybe this will work in other... I can't believe. Like, now I feel good. I feel more connected to you. You feel more connected to me. We have solution, and we keep on going. And you have to develop that with your own self, bro. And that requires you getting uncomfortable and doing this shit. And being like, why didn't I do this before? I should have fucking done this before, whatever the case may be. When I come back on Monday, we're doing self-will. So we're going to take a look at God's will, self-will, and free will, okay? And I'm going to try to build a case for you that free will does not exist, and you only have God's will, which is what's good for you, and your will, which is what you're going to do. And what you want is to align those two with what's good for you and what you're going to do. And who you become as a result of that is based upon what you actually do. So if you don't do it, like if you don't go on that walk, if you don't start doing that, then you're never going to become the person who does that.
Yeah, but don't put that much weight on it.
Well,
Right.
No. It's almost like the barrier of withdrawal, and like those days where we're like, I'm just gonna get some right now because I just don't want to go through the sickness right now. And it's like, well, if you're not gonna go through the sickness right now, you gotta go through it at some point. And if you're not gonna do it right now, you're not gonna do it tomorrow. You're not gonna do it the next day, and it just carries.
And I'll tell you what, until you sign up to learn that lesson that life has to offer you, it's going to keep on giving it to you until you pass. And some people never pass.
Yeah. That ain't that serious. That's deep.
That's what's going to happen. They're going to keep on. You see the people who have 4 divorces.
It just throws it at you.
You know what I mean?
It throws
Like-
it at you in different aspects. Like, first I was going through these withdrawals, and I was trying to, skirt around it every day. Then I went through it. I came here. Now I'm being faced with, say, a walk. My time management.
And it's not, like, let's use resentment for instance. It's not the person, it's the type of person. What you're going to see is it's not like the person that I resent, but if you were to look at, is there another person in your life that kind of made you feel that way too? You'd be like, like for me, I hate joke stealers, dude. If you steal jokes, I don't fuck with you, bro. If I hear you make a joke and you don't give the person who said it, I don't fuck with you, dude. And this is just me, right?
That's Canadian, like, 101 law.
Yeah, dude, and like because I'm someone who creates my own jokes. I'm fucking funny. I don't need no one to fucking do nothing. But I
literally people doing routines off of joke books.
and I'm like, and I'm out there, and people fucking laugh at it, and they think they're his fucking jokes, and I'm sitting there like, yo, shut up. That guy don't fucking know. He ain't fucking funny. You know what I mean? And what I come to find out through my step work is that it's not just the kid Zach, it's not just Pete, it's not just John, it's the type of person, dude. And you're gonna see, like with me and my resentment, it's not just Sally Mae, it's not just my car payment, it's when motherfucking people ask me for money. Go fuck yourself, dude. I'm optionally gonna do what I want with my money, and you're not gonna tell me what to do with it. See you later, kick rocks, dude. And what happened is I create my own problems as a result of that. So that's the type of attitude, mindset, and negative thinking that we're going to talk about when we come back on Monday, and how do I use that for positive thinking, okay? I would like to say great fucking job, everybody, today. Fantastic work, and I will see you on Monday.